your comments, good and bad, back to to all of our staff that we can consider, come up with a plan that works for you.
So we actually, when you were not here, we actually motioned that all of the precincts, all the SMDs be back in public buildings. So it would be this location for the 01, 02s, the 03, 04 would be in the Kennedy Recreation Center, and then the 05, 6, and 7 would be Walker Jones. So that was our suggestion.
Thank you so much. I've looked at the map myself, and that seems, actually with your specific commission, 6E, it seems really easy that we can keep with our goal of keeping the SMDs in their entirety together. We just need to move the pairings around, and I actually spoke with our facilities specialist in the office, and he's in agreement that we can actually achieve all of our goals. And what I heard from the hearings from the commissioners, I think we can make it work.
Great.
Thank you so much.
I think we spent a lot of time kind of after the meeting looking at the numbers of people voting at each of the precincts, and determined that this library needed to be a polling place again for 01, but 02 as well would be good. We felt that 06, that was just outrageous, the plan to have them go across North Capitol and at least 12 more blocks down to J.O. Wilson was just not really going to be a good idea. And I'm sure that Alvin agrees with that, as that's his area. But in talking to the gentleman from elections, we kind of worked out with knowing there were number limits for each of the precincts, so that you were within your limits anyway. And looking down the road a couple of years, I'm saying that it's going to have to change again. My single-member district is going to go from what is now approximately 4,000 people to 10,000 with the completion of the developments, the buildings that are in progress right now. So it won't be too long before it all has to be reconfigured, because Walker Jones would never be able to accommodate 10,000 voters.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you. That's a really valuable comment, and one we've considered in that really where we led up to this. It's interesting. The district, or at least the Board of Elections, hadn't dramatically did a full-scale examination of its voting precinct boundaries in its decennial process, and actually even in between the censuses that happen, we do amend some voting precinct boundaries, but never such a wide scale. And because of the growth in the district, and we're going to be having to do this more often and more dramatically, and so us getting in a better habit of giving really good feedback to one another about what our voters need. We're going to be doing this a lot more. That's all I can say, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think waiting for the next census is ridiculous based on the number of people. On my single-member district alone, we have at least 6 new buildings going up. One building in the single-member district has 900 residents.
I understand. I live in 6006, so I live close by.
Yeah, I mean,
it
just seems to me that although we're looking at moving some people now, we should also be saying, well, 5 years down the road, where are we going to be? And if we're going to make this move, it should be sensible, so that 5 years down the road, we're not trying to revamp the entire election system again.
All right, so we have a comment from the audience.
So we have 156 precincts now. What are we going to drop down to, you're saying?
We have 143
Oh,
now,
43.
but we're actually under the plan as proposed, and we expect that it will go back up. We're right now at 141 and under the proposed boundary, so we do reduce by 2. I will put this out there, where the Board of Elections is increasing the number of early voting sites. So, but it's dropped by 2 right now, down to 141.
Okay. And next thing is, I heard you say from 6E6 to 6 C1,
CO6.
CO6. Wouldn't it be more logical, though, to take the numbers and keep them correspondently going in the same order, instead of moving a 6 and moving the 7, and leaving the 7 out of place? I mean, because you would think mathematically, if you have 1 to 7 in E6, right? Why are you going to take the E6 and move that to the 6C? Wouldn't it be better to take the 7 and rearrange those numbers in that aspect, so the numerical numbers stay in order, instead of shifting so much of the different areas around and the way that they're being districted? Because again, you're taking a number that's in order and leaving the 7 by itself, and taking 6 and putting it in the 6C. So to me, that's not logical. If anything, you would take 6, 7, I'm not saying if anybody gets offended, I'm just saying you take 6, 7 and then match it up with C1 or D1 or you know, in other words, so that everything stays alphabetically in the same number row without disenfranchising and moving the districts out of the center of what they're doing.
I think I can
You understand
address
what I'm
that.
saying?
I do understand, and I think the reason 06 was chosen is because it actually sits in NOMA, the designated boundary of NOMA, and it is the only one of our single-member districts that does.
But if it's a part of this
07
document-
does not sit in that.
But maybe they should swap 7 and 6 so that those are closer to the boundaries they're supposed to be. Because again, you're taking a number that's in a row of the numbers. I don't know, that's just what I think. I think that the numbers should correspond to wherever they're going to be at the end at and close to the beginning of the next number or that next section.
Okay, duly noted. All right, so we're gonna move on. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank
You
you,
know, let us
Commissioner.
know when anything official comes out.
Well, one
Okay.
announcement, I don't know, but please stay tuned. The board members are planning another set of hearings for
Okay.
November. They're settling on a couple dates right now, the November 18th and the 22nd. They intend to do both a daytime and an evening hearing. So if you haven't had a chance to review the plan and you want to pour over it a little bit longer and share your comments directly with the board and staff, please watch our website. Actually, you can subscribe for email notifications on our website, and you'll get notice of when those hearings have been scheduled.
All right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for coming, I appreciate it. All right, moving into Kevin's area here about the quarterly report.
Okay, I believe all the commissioners have seen the quarterly report for the fourth quarter of the fiscal year 2013. So at this time, I move that ANC 6C approve the quarterly report as has been presented.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all ayes, March? Okay, great, 600. And expenses?
Okay. I will do, there are 3 expenses, and I'll do them all in one motion to save time. I move that ANC 6C reimburse Rochelle Nigro for the payment for the November newsletters in the amount of $348.98. I move that ANC 6E reimburse Commissioner Rochelle Nigro in the amount of $7.11 for printing of the November meeting agendas. And I move that ANC 6E pay Karen Leverage the amount of $125 for preparing our November meeting minutes.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, March?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'd like to request from the commission that you, I'd like to make a motion that you allow me to expense up to $1,000 for a tablecloth. When we're asked to go to events and present things for our ANC, we don't have a table covering that says 6E and where we, you know, and a map on it, or some giveaways and things. We've gone out and bought different things. I think it would be nice if we had those from a company that does the imprints and whatever, and we could get some mugs and some bags and some magnets for the refrigerator kind of thing, and the table cover, and be allowed to spend not to exceed $1,000 for all of these things, and an invoice would be presented via email to all commissioners as soon as it is available, and then can be voted on to expend at the next meeting.
I'm with you. I like the idea that we have that stuff, but my thought maybe is to, if you bring some, price quotes or, you know, something next month, would that be
Did we have any
possible?
of this in the budget that we approved in January?
I don't know. I mean,
We didn't.
Okay.
is there a line that we could take money from?
I mean, we could always change the
Right,
budget
yeah.
just by voting on it tonight.
Right,
so-
no, I was just curious as to
Yeah,
whether
but-
we had already.
Yeah,
So-
but, I mean, I don't, yeah, I think that if we had some prices and there was a catalog we could look through, it would be more beneficial than just picking an arbitrary figure and saying that, yes, you can spend up to this amount. I mean, I don't know how much these things cost. That does sound like a good idea. I don't know what we're gonna do with mugs. I mean, give them away to the public?
Yeah, do you remember what we did St. Patrick's Day? I went out and
Okay.
purchased all that stuff.
Right.
What I'm saying is if the ANC already had in its possession giveaways, that when people come to the table to speak with us, they would get giveaways, just as every other agency actually does. And if you remember, Parks and Rec was giving something away, all the different agencies were giving something, and I think it would be,
When
Less
do we have an
expensive.
opportunity to give this stuff away? Is there something coming up where we're gonna have a table to give stuff away? I mean, I don't know of anything. Is there?
Well, I think that, there are opportunities during the course of the year, but I think that I would like to just see, something set up. It's gonna cost $500 to do the tablecloth. We're gonna spend $250 to print the magnets, whatever, so that we're voting on something specific. And so if you could volunteer to do that for next month, then we can approve it next
Yeah,
month.
because I like the idea.
Yeah.
okay.
All right, there we go. Okay, so no more?
Do we vote on
No, no, I didn't do a second, I'm sorry. Did you second?
this? I moved.
Okay, I didn't second.
I see.
Okay.
And I
Oh,
don't
if
think
we all
had
were
a
here.
vote. I think we started discussing it more.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, we did vote on that, and then Marge brought up.
Oh,
the-
okay.
Okay, so we're, okay,
Yeah.
done, all right.
So you want to-
Okay, thank you. All right, so for the approval of the minutes, I motion that ANC 60 approve the minutes for October 2013 with any additions that the commissioners might make. And I call for a second.
Second it?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, announcements?
Yeah, on Saturday at Springfield Baptist Church, there will be a public safety, security, and preparedness forum. All are welcome to attend. The Springfield Baptist Church is at 508 P Street Northwest, and I believe it starts at 10 a.m.
I'm going to have a single-member district meeting on October 25th in
October?
November 25th in Yale West, and the point of the conversation will be the new hotel that is going next door to Yale West, and so that's development is moving forward finally. And then I'm also, the big event, Caroling with the Commissioner, is going to be December 8th, so it's the third annual Caroling with the Commissioner. There you go. Any other announcements?
This Saturday the 9th at, from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Thurgood Marshall Center, there will be a 70th birthday celebration for Priscilla Francis, who many people in the neighborhood know was the longtime director of the UPO Neighborhood Development Center #1, and it's actually a fundraiser for 7 nonprofits that she has selected to be the beneficiaries of the party. And so if you're interested in more information about that, just let me know. And then on Thursday, the 14th of November, from 6:30 to 9 p.m., New Endeavors by Women will be having their annual gala, supporting that program for women in transition that is going to be coming back to 6C03 when their new building is completed at 617 N Street Northwest. So the event will be at the Westin Georgetown at 2359 M Street Northwest, and I can also share information about that if you're interested.
Just one other thing. The Giant
Yes.
at City Market at O will be opening November 22nd.
And can I update?
Marcia?
Those of you who are familiar with the corner of Fifth and I in my single-member district, let me give you just a small update. 10 developers did submit. The DEMPED was unable to come up with a short list because everybody met and exceeded the requirements for the RFP. They set up a committee in hopes of the committee being able to eliminate some of the 10. They have been unable to do so, so I believe that we are going to have community presentations by 9 of the 10. One has dropped out of the running, but 9 of the 10 developers will be asked to do presentations to the community very shortly. It will happen either at the end of this month or the beginning of December. The award is still scheduled to be given by December 31st. Or the first week in January. With holidays, it may be a little harder to do it. But it has been very difficult for the city to eliminate because the proposals have taken quite seriously what we sent in our letter to DEMPED, which included green space, which included community areas, dog park, people park, a daycare center, fixing the road on Fifth Street, and other things as well. So it's quite interesting that this piece of property has become really, really important in the development of Mount Vernon Square.
Any other announcements from the commissioners?
Public safety meeting has been moved up to November 19th since the normal meeting time will be the week of Thanksgiving. So we pushed it up a week to November the 19th rather than the following Tuesday, which is the week of Thanksgiving.
Any announcements from the audience left? Oh, there's Naomi from Councilmember Wells' office.
I'm not saying anything about Councilmember Wells, but I do want to remind everyone that our beloved Commissioner Ron McBee's memorial service is this coming Monday at 11 a.m. Many of you knew him.
Where is it going to be, Naomi?
Ron McBee, Commissioner in 60, died recently, and there was a memorial service. This coming Monday at Westminster Church at 400 I Street. It's 11 to 12, and a repast following it. I did put out some announcements about a job fair tomorrow over at Arena Stage. It's for everyone. A lot of good employers, including the DC Human Resource Office for all of these jobs, and the U.S. Office of Personal Management for all federal jobs, plus a whole bunch of individual hires. We did this at Arena Stage's request. We jointly did this with them last year, and we had a huge turnout. And it's a beautiful place if you've not been to Arena Stage. And even though it's going to rain tomorrow, they're arranging for everyone to come inside and stagger, so they won't be standing in the rain. It's just tended to, some of you don't know about our office hours, but the council member has them 3 times a month in the community. Staff, council members just come by, chat. So we have that in the morning as well over in Southwest. So if you want to come to the job fair for 10, we'll come a little bit earlier, 8 o'clock, we're at Channel Inn. Coffee, breakfast is over there, pay for it, but it's very good. And so you can spend the day in Southwest tomorrow. I think there's a bunch of legislation out there that some of you may be following that I'm not going to particularly comment on unless someone asks me. But does anybody care about anything?
We're a little pressed for time, but if you want to go right.
No, if there were questions, I was going to answer, but otherwise,
Follow up with Naomi if you have questions.
Did you have a question, March?
Are you referring to the zoning? Are you referring, what?
No, I was saying the council member has a lot of legislation out there these days.
His own legislation.
Having
Oh.
living wages, decriminalization of marijuana,
Actually, I wrote that.
a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Questions?
Very good, thank you very much. Any other?
I just
Oh.
attended. I like the way that you actually ended the meeting with your minutes and your budget, because I think that it pushed a lot of real issues up front. And I've been going to a lot of ANC meetings, and this is the first one I've seen it, so I did think it was very interesting the way you put it at the end instead of at the front, because real issues get talked about, and you can rush through those simple ones real fast.
Great, thank
So
you
I
for
thought
the
that was a
feedback.
neat thing to come
All right.
see.
Motion to adjourn, when's our next December 2nd? When's the next meeting? Fourth, okay. I motion that ANC 6E adjourn the November meeting.
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, all right. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Thanks. Oh, and thank you for Ricky Williams for being our live tweeter all the time. He's great.
And I want to introduce myself, I am Nathaniel.
Oh, great.
And I'm running for delegate with this
We want some
another time.
during the meeting.
And I hope I can bring your support. We all just lunch. Thank you. I've been to this meeting before, so it's the second time.
I'm watching some of your tweeting during.
Oh, you are? Oh,
Right
okay.
on point.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe,
I'm glad you mentioned about Ron, because I've been trying to find out and have
changed that
not
one.
been able to, so I'll be there, I know.
Nobody
Claire,
wants to sit through
I'll
this
probably
stuff
go down
like
with
that.
Claire.
You lose people. So.
Yeah, so we're good.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Turn this off.
it'll be a huge turnout.
I am really not good at